Well, I'm going to begin, Hayden, by saying, I mean, did you ever envisage that this time would come? Was it always somewhere at the back of your mind that maybe you'd reprise this role one day? Or when this project came about, was it a bit of a surprise?
It was definitely a surprise. I mean, you know, for the longest time, no, I didn't think I'd be stepping back into this role again. But certainly in the back of my head for a little bit, I was maybe hopeful that one day such an opportunity might present itself.
I mean, Darth Vader is so iconic. I mean, the word iconic almost doesn't do the character justice. How was it for you just getting back into that costume for the first time and into that headspace? It must have been quite a special feeling.
Incredibly special, and also very emotional for me. This whole project was a surprisingly emotional experience. Just because this is a character that means so much to me, and to other people as well. As you said, this is a character that has sort of resonated in our popular culture in a very unique way. So getting to continue my journey with Darth Vader has just been so cool.
Yeah, because I guess when you have to tackle this character, did you sort of do it with a completely sort of fresh perspective? Were you actually trying to kind of go back and remember that kind of headspace from those years ago? And that in itself must be quite a strange experience because so long's passed that, like anyone, you will have changed and developed as a human being in that time. So it must be quite weird to tap into a sort of an old part of you in some ways.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, and I mean that was also a part of the appeal. Just such a unique exercise in my craft. Coming back to a character that I played so long ago. Now at this point in my life, obviously I approach it with a slightly different perspective. But I'm also going back and trying to find that familiar ground too.
I think everyone else is kind of speaking about what they thought when they first sort of saw you back again and in costume and how special that was. But I wanted to know what it was like for you to see Ewan again as Obi-Wan in the kind of full attire and what that moment was like.
It was incredible seeing you again as Obi-Wan. I mean, that's something I'll remember for the rest of my life. That was my first day back on set, and just stepping back onto a Star Wars set was a very special thing. And then, of course, getting to do this with Ewan was just very meaningful.
I mean, that must have been cool, but how was it holding a lightsaber again? That must have felt really good.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's part of my favorite, aspect of working on these Star Wars stories is the lightsaber stuff. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Do you have one at home, or I mean, just memorabilia? In fact, I remember I spoke to Liam Neeson a few years ago, and he said he kept a few sort of bits and bobs. And I always imagine if you're in a movie like this or you're in a show like this, you got to take a few bits for yourself.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, I do have a couple of lightsabers. I've got an Anakin lightsaber and I've got a Darth Vader lightsaber and maybe a few other knickknacks from the set as well.
I mean, I know there's only sort of so much you can kind of tell us at the moment, but what can fans kind of expect of this version of Darth Vader that we're set to see in this new series?
Well, this is a point in the sort of the life of this character that hasn't been explored yet, and there's a lot going on. This is Vader, 10 years after Revenge of the Sith, and he's had all of that time to um, sort of meditate on what life is like now, and this new sort of imprisoned version of himself. And for me, that was very compelling for me, getting to explore the character, at this point in his life, was a great opportunity.
Yeah, because I mean, Star Wars, I mean, means as you sort of touched upon, means so much to so many people, and it's something that you'll be more aware of than anyone else over the years, having encountered so many fans at kind of conventions and just on the street, I'm sure. But what does it mean to you, Star Wars, as a kind of as a property, as a franchise, as such a key player as Darth Vader? It must be more than just a character, more than just a job.
Absolutely. First and foremost, I'm a fan myself. I was a fan before I got involved in the franchise, and um, it means a lot to me to get to play this character. And I think it's incredible the way that these stories have just continued to resonate with people, and the impact that they've had on our culture is tremendous. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to really define for you what it means to me, because it has defined my life in so many ways.
Yeah, we just can't get enough of Star Wars. You never can. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Hayden, and best of luck with the release of the series.
Thank you so much. Nice talking with you.
You too. Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey, you guys!